Okay, I'm going to draw this Rubik's Cube in 2-point perspective. First things first, grab a pencil. I am using a 4B pencil so that the lines will show up. And I created my vanishing points off of my page. So I have one on the left and one on the right. I'm going to start out with drawing a line. Vertical line. Use my vanishing point on the right. And my vanishing point on the left. The reason I place the vanishing points off of the page so that when I draw this Rubik's Cube, it won't look as tight or skewed onto the page. Now I'm going to draw my vertical lines to end the form, the cube, on the left and on the right. And finish off the top in 2-point perspective. Since this is a Rubik's Cube that I am drawing, and I'm drawing it slightly at an angle, I need to divide up my space so I can put the blocks in. So it's got 3 rows and 3 columns. This drawn table makes it nice for lining up the paper. And then I'm going to use my vanishing points on the left for the top. And my vanishing points on the right to get my cubes. I'm going to do the same thing for my sides. Then line them up with the vanishing point on the right. Okay, next I'm going to use colored pencils to illustrate the blocks of the cube. So the first thing I want to do is take a look and use my model for colors. Choose a local color for each block. When I use the colored pencils, I'm using them on their sides. I am trying to get a good solid tone. And to do that, I'm going to need to control the direction that I shade. So I've got a red next to a red, and then a green. There's a technique called burnishing when it comes to using colored pencils so that you get deep values with the color range. And to do that, you need to first go in and do your local color. So my local color right now is red for the 2 cubes. I have a couple variations of red, so I can go back over with a slightly darker red to fill in any of the white gaps. I want the red to stand out for my local color. Based off of the model that I'm using, the blocks themselves also have a dark line around them. So I want to go back and put that dark line in after I establish my local color. And again, it's easier to shade larger areas, broader strokes, holding the pencil on its side. I'm going to take a black colored pencil and put in my outline. Just want to get 2 blocks colored so you can get an idea for how dark to go with the colored pencils. Bring the vibrancy up. As I mentioned, I'm going to use several shades to darken the red. Red tends to be a very warm color. So to keep it the highlight, you can mix an orange with the red. And for the shadow, you take a cooler color like a purple to aid with darkening the red. And the burnishing comes just going directly over the color, controlling the line direction. Takes patience to work with colored pencils. And be sure to get a good solid color for the red. The next color I have on here is green. So I'm going to grab my green colored pencil. Again, I'm holding the pencil on its side to shade. I want a good solid green. I'm going to grab another shade of green. I've got a slightly lighter shade to burnish over the top. Again, going for that solid tone. Shade to the direction of the form. And then I'm going to use that black to outline the green block. The intention is to have a good solid coat when it comes to shading. The next color I have is orange in the center. Orange is also a warm color. I can mix a little yellow with the orange to burnish, get a deeper color, brighten up the orange. Again, grab the black for my outline. I want to make sure I get a good solid outline and I keep the shape of the cube. The next color I have here is blue. So I'm going to grab the blue, shade it with the blue, get a good solid shade with the blue. Now blue is a cool color, so when it comes to darkening the blue, I can use another cool color, such as a purple or another shade of blue. And if it comes to lightening the blue, I can use a warm color. Could lighten it with a little bit of yellow, just to bring down the tone. And then go ahead, grab a purple to darken it a bit. Again, the goal here is to get a good solid tone, good solid color. Go back with my blue. And pay attention to the direction of your line for shading. I'm going to go back with the black for my outline. And the yellow is the next color I have here, which is a very bright yellow. I can take my white colored pencil and lighten it to get a good solid and take a orange tone to slightly darken it. And then go back with my yellow right over the top. Got another yellow here. Or rather, another shade of orange. Still keeping it very warm. And if I need to cool it slightly, I can use this very light shade of green and then mix back with the yellow. Looking for that solid tone, and then go back with my black for my outline. I'm leaving a little slight white of the paper itself around my outlines to make the cubes pop a little further and to separate the cubes. Got a blue on the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing. Shade it on its side. Pay attention to the direction of the line. Darken it with a cool tone. Lighten it with a warm tone. Burnish it to remove all the gaps, the little white spaces that aren't part of the color palette. Go back with the blue to get a good solid fill. And really, that's really what it's all about when working with colored pencils. Trying to bring up the vibrancy and bring out the tones with the colors. The whole point of this, working with colored pencils, is to enjoy the process. Spend time working with a strong color palette and creating a strong piece of art. So that's how to get started with colored pencils. Try to get a better view there. And if you have questions, comments, be sure to ask.